Hello, welcome everybody. The name of my app is entitled Snitch. I'm going to keep this brief because of prior recordings I have made it slightly too long. But Snitch is an app that's basically a web tip app where individual citizens can go in and log in and report tips about crimes that they may witness in their community. I was inspired to do Snitch by 528 Cash. 528 Cash, I grew up and went to high school late in 2000. Graduated high school, went to high school in late 90s and graduated 2000. Went to college in 2000. So I was a huge 3 6 Mafia fan. Shout out to DJ Paul, Juicy J, Project Pat, those guys. But they will always rap about a site called 528 Cash. And 528 Cash gives users the ability to log on or call and basically report crimes that they see in their neighborhood. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you see here is the aesthetics. I want to talk about the aesthetics. The reason why I chose this background, the sunburst, and I chose the comic book font is because I wanted to give users the ability to feel like they were, in fact, superheroes of their community. So let's go ahead and get signed in. So we're going to sign in. Going to sign in as a user, and luckily I already have a sign in. And I'm just going to walk you through some of the functionality. So Snitch, basically I want to talk about, I wanted to give users the ability to sign in. I wanted to protect the integrity of the data and it has two suspects. It has tips and two models, excuse me. It has tips and it has suspects. So suspects can belong to tips. So multiple suspects can belong to one tip. So I wanted to provide that. So when you log in, you have the ability to provide a tip. So when you provide a new tip, I'm going to just go ahead and walk you through a tip. See, carjacking occurred in Alexandria, and I'm going to go ahead and upload an image. Thankfully, I have some images already saved here, and I have an image of a carjacking that occurred here. So I'm going to go ahead and log that in here. I'm going to go ahead and hit create tip. Once I hit create tip, it actually uploads a picture of two guys carjacking a guy sitting in a Ford Mustang, two hooded suspects. So I want to add the suspects. So I'm going to just keep it short here. The one guy was a black male. Height was maybe about 6 feet. And clothing, I'm just going to put white hoodie. Going to hit create suspect. It creates a suspect there. Then I say, oh no, I forgot to attach a picture. So if I hit edit suspect, I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to go ahead and grab one of these pictures here that just for purposes of the demonstration here, it's not actually a picture of a real suspect in a carjacking, but it's actually a picture of just a kind of like a picture to kind of fill in. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that here. I'm going to hit update suspect, and boom, it updates the suspect with a picture. Has different categories of that describe what the suspect may have been wearing, the physical appearance of the suspect. So I want to go ahead and add another suspect. So I'm going to go ahead and paste another picture. The other guy that robbed him was white, was also a male. He was also about 6 feet, weighed about 200, and his hoodie was a maroon hoodie. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create suspect, and there you have it. You have two suspects listed under the tip carjacking. So if we go back, and then carjacking, and you have it in Alexandria, and you have two suspects. With this site, the current functionality is only available to individuals that log into the site, but you can browse the site anonymously. The reason why I did that and I used Devise to have it where you can log in is I wanted to protect the integrity and the data of each tip and suspect. I didn't want it to where someone with malicious intentions can come to my site and delete all of the tips as well as all of the suspects. Perfect example, I'm signed in as brown.angelo at sbcglobal.net. And I'll get to that in a second. But suppose if I want to view someone else's tip, I want to view this homicide in LeDroit Park. I'm interested in moving over there, so I want to see what the homicide looks like. So if I go down and if I go into the tip, oh no, that's my cousin. I can't have my cousin going to jail for homicide. I want to delete that. So if I hit delete, a flash message pops up that says only the person that provided the tip can delete it. So in other words, I never provided this tip, so I can't delete it. And I also can't edit it. So if I try to edit the tip and I hit update, it says please don't edit someone else's tip. So I provided that functionality in there as well. The areas that I'm proud of with this, and I'm going to go ahead and show the code here, is that um, initially I wanted to give users, I wanted to make it totally anonymous, but I didn't have a way to make it anonymous and actually protect the data integrity. So what I decided to do is I decided to have users privately log in in order to have credibility. And I'm very proud of this line of code. I decided to mask out the individual emails here and show everything but the last four. And that is shown here, where at the top you have the ability to mask out the email. I wanted to give users the ability to feel confident, to feel like they were privately logging in information, logging in tips. Although initially wanted to try to have users sign in with a PIN, I wasn't able to finish that device code. I wasn't able to modify it properly. The other aspect of this app that I'm very proud of is the fact that I'm very proud of my suspects form. I added various drop downs in my suspect form to kind of like make the speed up the process of submitting a new suspect. You have gender, male. I even has transgender in order to stay politically correct. Different races, those types of things. I'm very proud of that. And that code is actually listed on my form. So if I go to my suspects form, I actually decide to use the select method for that. The last thing that I'm very proud of with this is the fact that I'm able to use some code in terms of being able to show whether or not a vehicle was involved in the commission of this crime. So if I go to add suspects or add new suspects, I can either check a box and say, okay, a vehicle was involved, or I can uncheck it as well. So suppose if I want to edit a suspect, if I go here and I say, yeah, a vehicle was involved. It was a 2007 Ford Mustang, black. And if I hit update, it actually shows the vehicle information in Ford Mustang, black. Um, so if I go back and if I uncheck it and say, oh, I was mistaken, it actually hides the vehicle information. Some of the areas that I'm very proud of, and some of the things that I would like to do going forward. Well, these are the areas that I'm proud of. Some of the things that I would like to do going forward with this would be several things. So I would have liked to have provided users the ability to upload photos. I wasn't able to use any courier services, Amazon Web Services, but I would like to explore that option. I would also have liked to have given users the ability to click on the images. I wasn't quite able to. I wasn't quite sure how to format the code to give users that ability, but I would like to do that in the future. And the last thing that I would like to implement is a Google API, Google Maps. I would like it so that when an individual provides a tip for the location, it uses a geocoder and actually puts a pin on the map in the section of the city where the crime actually occurred. So as you can see, I have crimes occurring in Alexandria, 14th and U Street, LaDroit Park, Eastern Market, Congress Heights, Oxon Hill, Burtonsville, and Silver Spring, so on and so forth. So I would have liked to have had a map that has pins on these various locations. So that's a future addition. Other than that, this is the Snitch app, keeping communities cleaner, safer, and keeping crime down. Please let me know if you have any questions. My email is brown.angelo.jr@gmail.com. Thank you.